disclosure. I botched that. Number 81, 81, 81, 81, 81. Nah. Yeah. Got full disclosure in the full house. Not the show. Anyway, our commentary is going to take a look at the Georgia Wrestling History Awards. They are on, and we have two new categories, so I'm going to talk a little bit about all of that. And, man, we got new Patreon people. I'm super excited about that. I'm slated to put out a bunch of videos. I'm going to do that. So we got new person Justin, love it, D, relatively new, Dan, who's on vacation in Jamaica. Loving that life. Loving it. Joe Black, Derek, Brett, Diana, Larry, not that one, but the other one, Brian and Rob, and of course our three big ones, Viral Pro Wrestling, Eric Walker, who I owe a thing to. So I'm going to do that tonight, hopefully. And the OG Myron. Got a lot to talk about. I know it doesn't seem like we do, but we kind of do. But I have not one, but two things to unbox. Exciting stuff. This one, I know exactly who it's from. Talafiro. Look, he's even got the cool stamps on here. Bro. Plague Mask. And him. I didn't know this was coming, so I'm very excited to see what this is. Let's get to it. I don't have a knife, but I figured it out. I'll reveal it to you before I reveal it to me. A note. Let's read the note. When I told my wife that your daughter wanted to be a plague doctor for Halloween, it's true, we both decided she would need a proper mask. Far be it from us to try to curb anyone else's beautiful madness. This mask is designed for people with glasses, so it can be comfortably worn with glasses. T13. Look at that. Bro. Bro. Dude. Dude. Look at this nonsense. Bruh. It's leather, man. This thing. Get my kid on here in real time. You were by the way, you are live on a full disclosure video right now. Smile. Yay.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, and the reason is because I got two things in my post office box, and one of them is clearly for you, and that's the one that I just unboxed. You want to see what it is?
Yeah.
It's made out of leather. It covers your whole head. It's got these cool red. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Talafiro. Talafiro and his wife made it for you. Look at this thing.
You made it?
Yes.
Bro! Bro.
And It's designed for people to wear glasses underneath.
Wait, that's so thoughtful. I won't be blind.
That's right. So what do you say to Taliaferro and his wife?
So awesome. Are you kidding me? I didn't even think about the glasses thing, but that's
Yeah,
genius.
they're
I
smart.
haven't been able to see on Halloween for the past 5 years.
Well, cool. So now you know you got this dope plague doctor mask. Holy moly.
So
Anyway,
awesome.
what do you want to say to him? Might as well say it on the video and his wife. Yay.
Thank you so much. This is so thoughtful. This is like the coolest thing anyone's ever done for me. This is so rad. I'm gonna go scaring everybody at Hot Topic. It's gonna be the best.
You're gonna scare everybody at Hop Top. Awesome. Well, I gotta get going, but I love you and I love Squid. I'll talk to you later.
Hi, bye, Dad.
Bye. Boom, boom. Yeah. By the way, if you don't use Duo, you should. Duo is amazing. So, bro, Taliaferro and your wife, thank you so much. You made that kid's day. The only masks that they had where we looked were kind of lame, and that one is kind of the opposite of lame. And she will wear the crap out of it. Super awesome. And now we're gonna unbox this. All right, so as per tradition, I'll try to unfurl this. Unfurl this so you see it as I see it. Send me a Susie Quinn shirt. Awesome. Ridiculous. Oh. Yay. Yay. Susie World Order shirt. And since the since since the plague doctor mask is not for me, I'm not going to wear that. But you can see I still have the spiderweb decorations up. Got my hockey mask and now the Susie Quinn shirt. Pretty awesome Halloween gifts, guys. Thank you so much. All right, let's jump into it. Renegade, you drew 69. And your next show is November 7th. They keep trucking along, buddy. PWG. Pro Wrestling Georgia got about 80, which was perhaps a little disappointing for the quality, especially of the two matches that we heard about. Jeff G wrote about it. It's on gwhnewsandnotes.blogspot.com, as well as the kind of bare bones skeleton rundown that PWG sent in. If you haven't read that thing by Jeff G explaining his love of deathmatch wrestling and the two big matches in particular, Colt 45 against a much bigger opponent, and then Brad Cash in that main event that sounded absolutely bonkers. And Jeff G's also got those pictures. They had one of the pictures up of Brad Cash with all that blood coagulating. It's bananas, but I just think it's an aspect of pro wrestling and the deathmatch stuff that's really intense. And, what can you say? PWG's got another show coming up a while from now. But they're going to bring this deathmatch stuff. And they're gonna really make a run of it. And Jeff G's clearly down to help that happen. So that's gotta be a good thing. Yeah. Southern Fried 265 drawn. Rob Rod and his clicker had it going on. Two different reports from Larry and Rob Rod. So, and that main event sounds like it could not have gone better. Billy Buck now with the nefarious Todd and company. I don't know if they have a group name or not, but I imagine that they will. There's two sly looks that I'm giving. Pro South marching along, doing their thing. I did not get to check out much of the show this time around. I try to tune in when I can. AWE announced that on November 29th, they're going to start their tapings. So they got it going out. I want to talk about this Larietto thing. So some of you may have heard bits and pieces of this. I've only heard bits and pieces of this. From what I understand, there was a post by Amy Haven that invoked a bunch of political discussion. Everybody's fucking favorite. Talking politics. And Jim Wolverton, father of wrestler Wolverton, who also helps out. I think he's something to do with Luke Gallows. He's an assistant to Luke Gallows, something of that sort. But he got into a heated discussion with Trevor Aon. Trevor Aon, who very calmly sort of talked about Black Lives Matter, explained that they weren't a terrorist group, that kind of thing. Then did call him a jackass, which apparently prompted Jim Wolverton to snitch him out to Larietto management, be it Luke Gallows and whatnot. So Trevor Aon was unbooked from the Larietto show, but nobody bothered to mention that to Trevor Aon, who showed up for the show, at which time apparently Laser, who is the booker, and now I know why Laser is on all of the posters and in main event matches, where I always go like, what the fuck is this Laser guy doing on here? We have our answer. He's the booker apparently, and then informed that Trevor Aon was unbooked because of political posts. Apparently, all this is going to get worked out in the wash somehow, some way, though it seems unlikely that Trevor Aon would wrestle for them regardless. Maybe he would. Who knows? Assuming they had him back. This just seems like a case of Jim Wolverton deciding that he didn't like what Trevor Aon said. Again, political posts and the like. I mean, probably soon I'm going to catalog the damage that's been wrought about the kind of discussions that have happened in the last 3 or 4 months. And I think you will be shocked at the cataclysms that have taken place. Groups that could be doing much better. Groups that are not here at all. Promoters and bookers that people are far less likely to want to work for. And wrestlers themselves who people don't want anything to do with. Small bit of advice. Shut the fuck up and quit snitching. Cool. Let's talk about the other big story before we get to the commentary. Victory Championship Wrestling being kicked out of the Mumford Community Center. I'm going to break it down. And again, I only know what I have read about this situation, what people have told me in confidence, and the usual ways to go about it. Somebody somewhere is not going to be happy with what I say. Fuck you. Because I say what I say, and it's fucking awesome. You want to hear the story. You want to hear my thoughts on the story. These are my thoughts mixed in with shit that I heard and shit that I know. So take it for what it is, but it's probably the straightest shot that you're going to get on this shit. So I want to start with this. Apparently, according to the agreement, and nobody disputes this, the city or Victory Championship Wrestling can terminate with 60 days notice. So the city on September 1st said, 60 days, yo ass out of here. That's beyond dispute. So in that sense, Victory Championship Wrestling doesn't have any kind of leg to stand on. If the agreement is either one of us can terminate with 60 days notice, and they give you 60 days notice, then tough titty, you're out. Notice I didn't touch. I'm not that guy. I would touch my own titty. Thank you very much. So let's get that out of the way. Victory Championship Wrestling and a bunch of the wrestlers put together a video but they put it together more than a month ago. But they only recently released it. They released it on the 14th, but they actually filmed it in September after they got the notice. And you should know that a number of their wrestlers don't agree with it and feel like they're being hustled by the management at VCW. That's a fact. There are also people who support their side of the story. That is a fact also. But it's very telling that a number of them don't trust the story. And no matter how much that video tried to show that like we're all rallying around, it begs the question, why wasn't that released earlier? Why now at the 11th hour? It seems just like a promotion for their last show, which is happening soon. It may have already happened. I don't think so, though. All right. So there's a dispute about who owes whom money. I'm gonna address the racism stuff and the possible transphobia and all that as well. Of course, that's the big closer. Who owes who money? Is it that the city, in some way, shape, or form, agreed to do all these repairs? Or is it the city's story that VCW, in lieu of cash payments, was supposed to do all of these repairs to the building and fixes on the building that they did not do to the satisfaction of the city? I'll leave that up to you to decide. My gut instinct, that VCW and Johnny Slaughter did not live up to their end of the deal. It makes much more sense than the city agreed to doing these fixes and then they didn't do them. It does, in fact, VCW's position doesn't make sense on multiple levels. That is not to say that everything went against the way that they said it did. Let me get to that, right? They have an African American champion and somebody who is transgender apparently, who works for them. I don't think wrestles for them, but works with them in some capacity. And apparently some city council person of some sort said something about it. Do I think that that happened? Likely. Does that have anything necessarily to do with them being out? No. And the mayor apparently knew nothing about it, any of it. The mayor, who the VCW people say that they like, and they don't like that any racism charges of any kind were ever leveled against her. Do I believe that the mayor knew nothing about this, like somebody being upset about the African American champion or the transgender person? Yeah, I believe that. So here's the chain of events. City council mentioned something about he just doesn't like them in general. Could have to do with the African American champion. Could have to do with the transgender person who works for them. Though how would the city council person even know? I don't, like, a bunch of that part of the story. African American champion, maybe. But then again, do they really fucking care? Did this city council person fucking care? I don't think so. And even if he does, do I think that that has to do with them being kicked out of that building? No. Do I think that they gave proper notice on September 1st? Absolutely. And whatever the case may be, they have to get out of there. Now, apparently it's gone to some kind of legal counsel, but the fact that VCW as a combined locker room is not behind this tells me something. The fact that Johnny Slaughter's involved, and didn't that motherfucker, like, steal the Anarchy TV title, like slip it in his bag and try to get away with it once upon a time? Somebody correct me if I'm fucking wrong on that one. Does that mean that Johnny Slaughter took that TV title, that he is never to be trusted for the rest of his life? No, but I think it's a pretty good indication that from VCW, I'll just say it, I get the wrestler Carney vibe from management. I get a bunch of well-intentioned wrestlers, some of whom are believing the story and so doing whatever they can to be supportive and a quote-unquote family, as they said in the video. I don't hold the wrestlers at fault at all. And for the wrestlers that don't believe VCW management's story, I think there's a good reason they don't fucking buy it. Nothing seems to support the VCW thing. Perhaps, though, I will allow that the city council person did indeed say he didn't like the fact that they had an African-American champion and a transgender person working for them. If you can believe that he knew about the transgender person, which seems unlikely, and would say something overtly where it could be overheard about an African American champion. That one is possible. I mean, city council people are who they are, right? They're members of the community, so maybe he is a bigoted, racist asshole. I don't think that has anything to do with them getting the notice. I would strongly suspect of who's zooming who as far as the repairs. I would say that the deal of, in lieu of cash, we're going to just have you do these repairs and you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain seems much more likely than the VCW claim of, they were supposed to fix all this shit and they never did it. Huh? That part just doesn't, none of that VCW thing. It doesn't take many threads to pull. All you have to do is pull on a thread or two and the entire VCW sweater falls apart. And the VCW's attempt to create these loose threads to pull on seem to get snagged along the way. And the fucking city of Mumford's sweater seems pretty intact to me. But of course, that's just my opinion. That's just based on my smell test of this whole thing. And things that I've heard about the people who are involved. Cool? There it is. Let's get to the commentary. I do love this shirt. Susie Quinn. Commentary. Here's categories. And as I name these categories, keep in mind we're keeping all of the categories and we're adding a couple. That's a lot of fucking trophies. Join my Patreon, please. Overall wrestler. Number of great contenders. Joe Black, Logan Creed, Michael Judas immediately pop into my mind. And keep in mind, if I forget somebody's name, don't get your panties in a twist. You'll get a chance to nominate people. This is me going off the top of my head, off the rip. Best technical. Corey Hollis. Joe Black. Who else we thinking for that one? Who else we thinking? Male performer. Hold My Beer Hansen. Tyler Culprit. Maybe David Ali. Matt Sells. Is Simon Sermon going to get in there by the end of the year? That's who I'm thinking right now. Female performer. Has anybody done anything in the second half of the year worth of shit to be for female performer? I know that sounds like an asshole thing to ask. That's why I'm asking it. You tell me. Comment. Chime in. Who's the female performer? We who are concerned about female wrestling in the state of Georgia, then who's fucking good and worth a shit and doing great shit? Is it Brooklyn Creed? Tell me. Is it Danny Jordan? I'm trying to think of something that Danny Jordan did at a Southern Honor show that was noteworthy. Tag team or a stable? Certainly the Lynch Mob. Keep on chugging along. Who else is a big fucking deal? Black Lariats matter? Yeah. Seems like they've done kind of a big thing. And then I'm having to think of like stables. What's the name of Todd's stable? That looks like it's shaping up to be a big hairy deal. We'll have to see. Most improved. It's Austin Towers, unless someone can convince me otherwise. But if you said Hold My Beer Hansen, I would consider it. If you said Tyler Culprit, I would consider it much more. Who else? Manager or valet? It's Hankins to lose. Doc Brock, though, as the face manager of JBE, seems like he's making strides and making that push to be in the main event again and pulling off the babyface thing effectively. And I see Logan Chase's name all over the place on those Renegade shows and other places. Who else? Tell me. Promoter. The reason I'm looking is I'm searching my brain for somebody besides the obvious two names. right? Manders and Lamb, Lamb and Manders, Manders and Lamb. However, Southern Violence is drawing crowds comparable to Southern Fried, and they've run more shows of a significant size than anybody. Who is that? Justin and Ryan? Who would you call the promoter of Southern Violence? And who else would you put forth? Make your voice heard, make your voice heard, make your voice heard. What about WrestleMerica? Are they could their promoter be up for promoter of the year? Let me know. Let me know, baby. Booker. It's Dylan and it's Todd. And it's Ace. Haven. You think somebody else is worthy? Let me know. Promotion. Southern Honors to lose. Southern Fried's making a contention. Southern Violence and Honor. Anarchy seems like they're gonna run the show in November. Who else? Pro South been running every week. Live event. Southern Honor's first show back, that Rumblejack show, or even the one after, or shit, this one coming up has got fucking Joe Black against Gunnar Miller. And I have a feeling it's going to be a barn burner as well. What about the last Southern Violence show? What about the one where Manders got turned on? And Pro South's been running a number of big shows for them. I want to hear about what it's going to be show of the year. A lot of tried and true ones were knocked out this year because of COVID, right? No Scenic City, no SCI from the Southern Honor end, which would have been contenders, but they're both out. Announcer commentator. Diana Michelle, JJ, the team of Shane Knowles and Wicked Nemesis. Is there anybody else I should be considering? Referee, you got Grandpa, you got David Weekley, you're going to have to fucking tell me, folks. Feud. Where it looked like we had none, now it looks like we got Manders and Todd. What other feuds are out there that are catching people's interests, that are... It's tough, right? Because I don't know. Besides Manders and Todd, who do we got? What's the big feud in Southern Honor? We're going to have to see. That's one drawback of doing one show every month or so, right? It's hard to sort of generate that momentum of a feud. Certainly Huck and Joe won it last year and absolutely deserved it. Southern Honor just ran away with all the awards. We'll see what happens this year. Now the two new awards. Let's talk about them. Promo of the year, match of the year. What are you going to do for that? You're going to send us promos. Not this second. But is there a promo that you heard that was great? You can take a clip from a show or promos that the wrestlers do, independent of that, down to the very well-produced ones that Joe and others have done for Southern Honor. Send those promos in. The committee will look at them all. We'll pick 3. We'll put those 3 promos up on gwhnewsandnotes.blogspot.com so everybody can listen to those 3 fucking promos with a little bit of context, because that's important too, right? It factors in. And then that way you can vote intelligently. Same thing with the matches. What are the matches that you've seen that have blown you away? Well, motherfucker, I hope you recorded them, because you should send those matches in. Why am I advocating for this? This is kind of my baby, these 2 awards. Why? We should have these awards. That's 1. And 2, it's like show of the year. Here's the problem. Most people are not going to, no matter what wins for show of the year, most people will not have seen it who are voting. And that's a problem. Or that's the only show that they've seen because they were on it. That's a problem. So we can't do anything about show of the year, but we sure as hell can for match and promo. We can put up 3, everybody can watch them, so at least they can vote intelligently. So that's what we're going to do. So now the question is, who do you have in mind? Who do we need to keep in mind? Folks, it is October 19th. We're going to be in November in 12 beautiful days. And then the nominations will begin in earnest, and then the voting will begin in earnest. If you've got favorites, you've got people that you think we need to know about, at least for promo and match of the year, it could come from anywhere. So all of the promotions out there who feel like they've been neglected, whether it's because they're a smaller promotion, a newer promotion, or they're in South Georgia somewhere, if you think you legitimately have a fucking great promo or match that has happened where you are, this is your chance. You've got your chance to make your voice heard. So if you choose not to do it out of laziness, that's on you. If you choose not to do it, period, out of some form of protest, then you're an idiot. And one thing that this will do is it will remove somebody's ability to bitch with authority. And I'm all about that. So think about all those awards. I've laid them all out there. Start thinking about what you want to do and promotions. Who do you want to advocate? Which show of yours do you want to advocate for show of the year? The ability to express publicly and make a case for somebody has helped many people. Joe Black won Technical Wrestler because Gary Lamb put it out there publicly. Yeah. I will listen, and the committee will listen, and more importantly, voters will listen to the right argument. The days where people can just railroad things through are gone. And that's the way it should be. By the way, we're also going to have special, I'm not sure what form it's going to take, but Larry and I have talked about it, to acknowledge those who have kind of gone above and beyond in this crazy time of COVID, that we feel like have gone above and beyond during COVID, because we want to acknowledge that as well. I'm not sure what form that'll take. If you have ideas, let me know. Thank you to whoever sent me the Susie Quinn shirt. Thank you to Taliaferro and his wife for making that plague doctor mask for my kid. That's the bomb. Remember, any Halloween stuff you send before the big day on the 31st, it's going to go up on my wall or it's going to go on my birthday. And this has been Full Disclosure.